This is Yatra with Freedom Reigns, hosted by Freedomizer Radio. Today we are going to let Drake have the first 15 minutes for an update, and then we're going to go in to our normal programming with Miss Terry on the 5th edition of the RuSA Exposed, as we promised for quite a few weeks. So, Drake, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Cool. You are up first. I also want to let people know that we will not be taking questions today unless Miss Terry has time at the end and wishes to do so. So with that, if you want to give the people an update, we know there's been a lot of things happening in the last couple of days.
Well, to go along with the things that have been happening, there's another round getting ready to fall, kind of like the other shoe. I'm not at liberty right at this point to tell you about it, but in a couple of days you'll see it happen just like it did, as I told you before, it would happen with the central banking system. And the second shot across the bow ought to sink the boat. I've been getting a combination of interests basically from all over the world. We're planning to have a combination of conference calls, and I intend to address different countries in terms of them being able to use a portion or something similar to our system in order to set themselves free as well. So I guess I'm sort of a wanted man or something, but anyway, I'm not disagreeing or objecting. It's just a statement of fact. Yes, I'm extraordinarily busy, and there's a lot of things that people are not aware of that may not come out right away in terms of the mainstream. Now, somebody said if it was the real Drake, I think it was Anon1513 in the chat room. There, it's real, and I'm live, and here I be, and there you go, and them other Drakes can go out the door. We got, there's 3 of us in there, all of them the same as me, talking different and stuff, so. Anyway, there's a variety of things that will happen in the next, 2-3 days. Everybody will be delighted with it. There are some fun and games involved, as well as some real nicely crafted, legitimate actions that will be taken that everybody is going to enjoy thoroughly. We will all witness those publicly to an extent. Now, one of the things that's going to happen here shortly is that the Fed, or Federal Reserve, or Central Bank, as you know it, is going to have such serious problems that they're going to be required to accidentally leak some of the information as to what's going on. Their first move will be an attempt at discrediting, but the problem is that it's all valid, it's real, and it is happening. So everybody grit your teeth, bear with it. It won't take too long. We'll get through this, from what I'm seeing, fairly nicely, cleanly, and peacefully. So everybody bear that in mind. And I have addressed an extraordinary group of vigilantes, militias, what do you want to call them. I suggest anybody individually who is by themselves, and it doesn't matter if you're civilian or military, develop a small group in your area, get what's called an immediate contact system. In other words, a phone tree. You call one, they call one each, and it grows. You can do this for a combination of things. If you happen to be in the mountains, a fire is a serious matter. And so, if everybody can be contacted quickly, you might even be able to put the fire out by the time the firefighters arrive, or somebody's got a serious problem, or whatever. It may be able to be seen to much more quickly than somebody coming from 5-10 miles away to come see about it. So bear these things in mind. This is the manner in which a community can be a combination of both proactive, where it doesn't matter who or what, you take care of the problem, and the second part of it is you learn to be a part of the group that you live with. And basically, that's my upshot for the day. Deidre?
All right, great. Well, we'll look forward to hearing some more then on Thursday. Hopefully you'll have more wonderful news that you'll be able to share with us at that time. This has kind of all been really interesting watching things unfold. It's kind of ironic how certain things are unfolding, but yet you catch little pieces of mainstream as you pass by a television somewhere, and they're saying the same thing, but yet they're saying just the opposite. It's just really, really interesting. So I want to thank you, Drake, for taking the time this evening to be here with us, and we're going to go ahead and move on now to our featured guest, which is Miss Terry, who has been working to compile in a manner for you a timeline in her own words, exposing the Tim Turner RuSA organization that many of you are familiar with. So with that, Terry, I welcome you, and I can't wait to hear what all you've brought to us today.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. After many requests, we had planned to do just an update on RuSA tonight. But since making that decision, many events have taken place, not the least of which is an interview with our own Drake that he had with David Wilcock. And after that interview, a subsequent radio show here on Freedom Reigns, and I began to receive emails and phone calls telling me I should listen to the latest Turner Roundtable call, as he was talking to me. I'll be honest here, listening to that man truly makes me physically ill, and I have to do enough of it lately, documenting sound bites, etc. However, eventually I did listen to the call, and bar none to date, it was the biggest conglomeration of lies ever to come out of that silly organization. It was a pathetic attempt for Turner to turn on the poor picked-on-me routine and play the anointed martyr to an audience of sycophants dedicated to sucking it up and frothing at the mouth to add to the fantasy. After hearing flat-out lies, twisted history, and somebody who should know better by now throw me under the bus, I decided it was high time to cure the core problem in regard to me. That being the fact that all the devout Turner followers have been good little boys and girls and listened to Daddy tell them not to read what I shared, not to listen, because I'm the daughter of Satan, or as he put it, in December of 2010, the leader of a well-funded Luciferian satanic Bush 41 cabal sent to destroy the Republic. What an exalted title. So, tonight, I'm going to tell you a story, my story, from my mouth. This will serve as my affidavit of fact as I know it. Naturally, I'll have to go through the events in simple and quick fashion because the timeline runs from the spring of 2010 to the present. I've made documents, recordings, emails, etc. available to our webmaster in order to make them publicly available so that you can see for yourself what led me to know what I know. All of those files will be available to download about an hour or so after this show is over. On the roundtable call, Turner has falsely claimed that he gave me the opportunity to share evidence against him for 10 months. Nothing of that nature was ever said to me. So I've decided to make him eat those words and instead make them nationally public. Mama always told me, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. In this case, he will indeed get what he asked for, but it will be made public, not provided to him to skim through and censor beforehand. There'll be no more excuse for any more claims that I will not share what I have, even though most of it has been on my blog all this time. There's more, much more, on 2 failed hard drives I have that I have no way to access at this time. But when I'm able to, I'll share all that information as well. It'll require a laptop hard drive enclosure with a USB plug, and I don't have one. So I will get one when I'm able. Now, our webmaster is going to put all of these files up on the website. They will be in, I arranged them in folders. I'm not sure if he's going to have folders or just sections by these titles, but you will see titles with documents in them such as criminals, emails, fake ID machine, legal antics and lies, lunacy, origins, personal attacks, promises, sound files, the Texas issue, the Pennsylvania attack, what kind of structure, and a document called links. Now, these files are going to be added to as I am able to access and organize all of the files I have. Over the period of a year and a half, the material that I have on the various hard drives, flash sticks, this machine, is massive. And it takes a lot of time to put it together and upload it to the website. So that's going to be getting added to as I get access to it. The links file will be updated often with more links added to it. In order for me to go through the whole story in detail, it would take a lot longer than we have on a Sunday call, and indeed it would end up being a very thick book. So I'm going to provide all of the documents that led me to know what I know, recordings, emails, etc., and you will need to go and read and listen and discover for yourself that which I discovered. So I'm just going to tell you what happened, that I experienced, and how I ended up where I am today, knowing what I know. Now, where did I leave off? That will require the hard drive enclosure, like I said, to get the rest of it. Now, as I tell you this story, I'll use first names only in regard to the innocent, and alias names for those I've given my word not to reveal. But I'll use full names for those complicit in wrongdoing. I've already shared some weeks ago the history of the roots of TRAP and RuSA with recordings in their own words, so I won't repeat any of that. I became involved with TRAP in April of 2010. However, I had a very hard time getting signed up, as the communications between the top and the states was atrocious. When my state, Georgia, elected its officials, after Turner forced the other guardian elders out, I was elected and appointed as the state's Chief Justice. I took an oath to the people of Georgia to do my utmost and level best to serve them, and I took that oath very seriously, and I began studying intently. I was somewhat of a historian at that time, and I already had a blog where I was posting historical articles on little-known American history. I also attended the grand jury training that was available, but it was discontinued. As soon as Turner convinced the people that all that was needed to be focused on was a national government, the information for county levels and grand juries was abandoned, wasn't even talked about anymore. Once the states had elected the required 10 representatives, and remember, this was required by Turner, 2 senators, 1 governor, a chief justice, and had an ambassador appointed by the national level. And yes, folks, I know there's no such position in our form of government structure. There was a national call for all elected officials, etc., for the purpose of holding a presidential election. Now, never mind there was only 1 candidate. That was held, that election was held on September 23rd, 2010. I know because I attended. The voting was done electronically by hitting *8 if you voted no,